In the Imagining the 10th Dimension animation, sound is an important part of the information being conveyed. For instance, no matter what dimension we're exploring, there is the arrow sound effect representing a particular point, a scrape indicating lines being constructed from joining one point to another, and the card riffling sound effect to show that anything we think of as a continuous line is actually being constructed one point at a time, if we can only look close enough. Burgess and Queveto's article explains how our universe might be the result of the interactions of a three-dimensional brain with a seven-dimensional brain. With the ends of certain superstrings constrained by brains, they are sliding around within. To use my flip book analogy then, we can see how the illusion of continuous reality that we're experiencing is actually a series of 3D states for our 3D universe interacting with a 3D brain. And each observed state is one Planck length away from the next. Each observed state can be thought of as a page in a gigantic cosmic flip book. The flip book from the Big Bang to now appears to be one specific set of flip book pages, which we think of as the 4D line of time. But each next available now page that could be possibly selected for our flip book comes from a fifth-dimensional probability space. And the fifth dimension is where Kaluza proved our reality is defined. And I should mention here that Einstein also agreed with that. Every parallel universe that could have resulted from our Big Bang, whether it is observed or not, exists as a potential flip book in the sixth dimension, and all those possible states are locked together by the seventh dimensional brain our universe is also interacting with. The idea I advance of our universe's basic physical laws being a result of our specific location in the multiverse, as a point in the seventh dimension or as a result of our interaction with the 7D brain, then can be tied into this concept. As usual though, I'll take pains here to caution readers that I'm not claiming my way of visualizing the dimensions is the explanation for string theory, any more than it's the explanation of Kabbalah, zero-point field theory, Japanese anime and video game plots, metaphysics, or any of the other diverse range of belief systems which fans of the 10th Dimension project keep pointing me towards as having interesting resonances with my way of visualizing reality. From moment to moment, day to day, Google has been tracking the information that makes up our reality for almost 10 years. Ideas that can be tracked across time and space are known as memes. And physical objects that can be tracked across time and space are known as spimes, which means that the flip book of nows we have imagined from the Big Bang to today can be thought of as a spime that represents the story of our current universe from its inception, and that idea is a very powerful meme. I've always marveled at the audacity of Google's "I'm feeling lucky" button. The idea that out of all the information in the world, Google might be able to show you the very best link of all still seems like mysterious magic to me. And I admit to never wanting to use that button because I like to have choices. Still, the Google Toolbar's Suggestions window is a great example of the accelerating information space we live in now. Try typing in just the letters of the alphabet, one after another, into that window, and read the top 10 suggestions, here's that number again, that come up for each. This gives you a snapshot in time of what is important, what is talked about, what is the dominant set of memes within our culture right now. Both memes and spimes are multidimensional shapes, each with a beginning and an ending someplace out there in the timeless multiverse. The feeling that we live in times that are accelerating towards something larger as a result of the rapidly accelerating meme space we live in might be connected to the same higher dimensional effects that are causing our universe to accelerate its expansion as well. I believe both are eventually going to be shown to be the result and the proof of higher dimensions in the information that is creating our reality. So that's the blog entry, and so I just want to talk a little bit about some of the ideas that are in that. First of all, the idea of dimensions is often dismissed by people who say, how can there even be any higher dimensions? How can you prove their existence? And this, particularly in popular books like Lee Smolin's The Trouble with Physics, is one of the basic criticisms that they have of any theory that requires there to be higher dimensions. There's no way to observe them. There's no way to prove them. So that's what's exciting about this idea of our accelerating universe, expansion of our universe, could be actually a proof of there being higher dimensions, because it could be that we are approaching another brain that is actually causing our universe to expand, and expand in an increasingly accelerating way, because that brain is becoming closer to us. And that relates to the idea of I've talked about here before, that that it's actually the gravity is the only effect that physicists say can actually make its effects be known or felt across the higher dimensions. So it could be that that's what we're talking about there. The idea also that that space-time is four-dimensional, I think relates very nicely to the idea that Kaluza proposed and Einstein eventually agreed with, that the basic reality for us is coming from the fifth dimension. Ties really nicely to the idea then that you hear in things like or projects like the Elegant Universe, where they talk about how the dimensions above might actually be compactified down to the Planck length, and the reason that we can't see the higher dimensions is because they are down at such a tiny microscopic, submicroscopic level that that they're impossible for us to view. So if we take the idea of free will existing within the fifth dimension, then the 4D line of time that we're creating right now, from now to now in the flip book of time that we're creating, is an illusion. It's actually happening in a fifth dimensional probability space, and that means the Elegant Universe image of us being on this fifth dimensional wire, and that we're actually rotating around to create our reality within the higher dimensions, but we're unaware of it, because we're like, as in the animation that I show, the Flatlander on a Mobius strip, we're not aware of the twisting and turning that we're doing in the higher dimensions. Once again, we've found a way then to tie all these different ideas together: higher dimensions, quantum physics and indeterminacy, Everett's multiverse, the many worlds theory, which he proposed way back in 1954, and ended up his theories now being embraced, but he actually quit quantum physics entirely because nobody would listen to him back then, and that idea was suppressed for decades. Now multi-dimensional reality, as it's defined from those higher dimensions, is starting to embrace the whole Everett multi-world or many worlds theory. It's interesting how memes again rise and fall in time and space, and the many worlds meme is much more successful now, much more recognized now than it was for all of Everett's life, which is kind of a sad thing to think about.